Dino Ball.
Dino
Dino
ball.
Ball. Dino Ball.
Dino ball. Dino ball.
All right, welcome back. Episode, I believe, 8 now.
Yeah, something like that.
It's gonna be a special one. We got our friend here to talk about some Super Bowl topics.
hmm
Mr. Jonathan Stevens. You want to
Sup,
introduce yourself?
boys? Happy to be here, boys.
All right. Well, without further ado, we're gonna go straight into the topics.
hmm
Right away, right off the get-go, we're gonna talk about the Super Bowl. Right, automatically, Stevens, Chiefs or 49ers?
I'm going with the 49ers. On paper, they have a way better team. The Chiefs had like kind of an interesting run. I feel like they got bailed out, especially last game, but I really think the 49ers have all the tools they need to win.
I'm going with Taylor Swift and the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
I agree.
I'm not gonna
Stevens,
lie.
I think you're just wrong on that aspect.
Yeah.
Regardless of
I
what
mean,
happens, you just can't count out Patrick Mahomes and
Exactly. You
Travis
can't.
Kelsey.
I
You
mean
can't.
that's I mean I'm yeah, it can go either way. The Chiefs are, Mahomes is a really good quarterback. He's one of the best quarterbacks, we've seen, especially this era. Travis Kelsey's one of the best tight end in the league. One of the best tight ends we've seen. And you certainly can't count them out, but I think that the 49ers are going to win.
Why?
I don't think so. I think it's gonna be Mahomes and the Chiefs
If the
because
49ers run the ball more,
no, but like look. Ready? With the Ravens, everybody thought on paper the Ravens have a better team. Yes or no? On paper.
they do.
So, if the Ravens have a better team on paper, so it's the same scenario in this case for the Super Bowl.
Well,
The
I'd like to point
49ers,
out the fact that the Ravens have the best running offense in the league.
and yet they lost.
And that best running offense in the league, they ran the ball 4 times. Gus Edwards had 3 carries, and their other running back had like 1 or 2. So I don't know what the game plan behind that was. I cert like the couple times they actually did give him the ball, he got like a 10-yard, 12-yard gain, and they just like didn't run the ball. So I think that like that's a big reason the Ravens had every chance to beat them, and they just. I don't think the 49ers are going to make that mistake. They have Christian McCaffrey, the best running back in the league. They have Debo Samuel, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, who is getting a lot of hate right now, but I think he's better than Jimmy Garoppolo when he was on the 49ers. And I think, he's a good enough quarterback to make plays and uh, score some points.
It's funny you mentioned that because
And that's
do
just the
you
offense.
want to chime in?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
I'd
chime in,
love to chime in on
chime in.
this one. Um, from what I've learned from previous Super Bowls, you never count out the best player of all time. Never. Doesn't matter who's on the 49ers. Patrick Mahomes can have 12 me's out there. I can be his entire receiving core, whatever, and he would still win the Super Bowl. You cannot count out Patrick Mahomes when it matters most. It doesn't matter. Brock Purdy, is he solid? He's okay. Isaiah Pacheco, better than Christian McCaffrey, in my opinion. I think
All right.
that Mahomes is going to lead the Chiefs to the Super Bowl. I think Taylor Swift is going to run onto the field. Her and Travis Kelsey are going to embrace. They're going to kiss, and they're going to get married on the field
Yeah,
right
but
after the Super Bowl.
it's funny you mentioned Taylor Swift too because like I don't like the fact that she's literally the publicity stunt for the NFL. That's a majority of people right now are watching because she's involved with with Travis Kelsey, and that was when the Chiefs won. Majority of the posts were just her and Travis Kelsey
hmm
just kissing after the game. Like
Yeah.
I don't understand why we can't just focus on the game. Like it's not about the two of them dating. It's about football.
Mm-hmm.
It's about going to the Super Bowl. It's not about the two of them.
hmm
Yeah.
No,
But
that's
you
not
Well,
on her though. Yeah, they just the
mhm.
NFL just does
The
it.
NFL wants to make money, and if someone famous like that is going to be at their games, they're going to promote her. That's just how it is.
hmm
That's the business, and
Yeah.
it sucks. Like NFL fans don't like it, but it is what it is.
hmm So why don't we end the segment? Everyone just go around. You say who's winning the Super Bowl.
well,
Your score prediction.
before we do score prediction, I do want to do this with Mr. Stevens. I want to do an all-time QB ranking. Not like I want to do an all-time QB ranking. If Mahomes wins this ring, where does he rank all time for QBs?
I think he's definitely in the conversation of at least top three. He's like the things he's done. If you look at Brady now, at his age, at the age Mahomes is now, if you put their careers match them, he has like the same stats almost, and it's like it's incredible like what he's doing. Like it really is. It's his. He won a Super Bowl his second year. He went back. He run 2 years in a row. Didn't win the second time against Brady, but then he went back a year later, 2 years later, went to the Super Bowl against the Eagles, and then won again. And now here he is again in the Super Bowl. It's incredible. With which, by the way, he's not on a great team. He has Travis Kelce. He does not have any wide receivers right now. He just doesn't. And that's really saying something. So I definitely think he will be a top. He can 100% qualify to be a top three quarterback if he does win a Super Bowl.
Well, this is what like the second year that the Chiefs didn't have Hill, right? Tyreek
Yeah,
Hill.
and they're in
So
the Super Bowl back to back. By the way,
back-to-back Super Bowl, potentially back-to-back Super Bowl wins without Tyreek Hill. And you're right, Mahomes really doesn't have anybody else to target besides like Travis Kelce. I'm pretty sure he has Kadarius Toney too, but like that's
well, we've seen how that's gone all season.
yeah, that's like
Giants legend.
all right. Well, but this question is kind of twofold too. See now, when you look at Travis Kelce, if he wins this ring, where does he rank?
That's yeah. So that's a very controversial topic. You know, if you really look at Travis Kelce, he plays like a receiver. And the I know the question, the argument a lot of people want to talk about is he the best? Gronkowski, I believe, is an all around better tight end. But if you're just looking at receiving yards, Travis Kelce does challenge him at that. I think he passed either the reception or receiving yards record this year. So that's something to be said. But Brady and Gronk duo, and now our era, it's Kelce and Mahomes duo. So I definitely think that if he can keep getting some good, he's old now. I think he's like 34. That's pretty old for a tight end. So if he can keep doing what he's doing, like he's this year was a little bit of regression for him, but I think that if he just keeps I think Gronk's a better overall tight end, but I think Kelsey's a better receiving tight end.
All right, Deej. Now we can get into the score predictions. You can start first. You start first.
Me? Oh, I haven't
Yeah,
actually thought about it,
you haven't actually thought
honestly.
about it.
No, I know he's gonna win. I know Mahomes is gonna win because it's the script. It's obvious. Anyone that thinks the Niners is gonna win is just they just don't know ball. Simple. But I'm gonna give it a solid minute to think about it. Someone else go before me. I need to do some research.
I'll go. I mean, I don't really know too much about football, but I believe it's gonna be close at halftime. I think it's gonna be 14-14 at halftime, and then I think the Chiefs are gonna pull away a little bit, and then by the end of the game, it's gonna be 28-21 Chiefs. Super Bowl number 3 for Mr. Patrick Mahomes.
I think Niners will be up in the half 10-7. I think the Niners are going to give the Chiefs a hard time on defense. That's just a fact. Like they're very good. They have a great secondary. They have a great line. Uh, the Chiefs are going to adjust in half. They're probably going to score more. I think that we're going to have a pretty solid game, 28-24. Uh, I think the Niners obviously win 28, but yeah, it's gonna come down to the wire. I don't think like at all like it's the Super Bowl. Andy Reid, by the way, is also a factor on the Chiefs that really helps them. He's one of the best. He's one of the best coaches of this generation too. So I think he will have a plan to make it a competitive game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So Chiefs are gonna go to halftime. They're gonna be up 14-7, up 14-7, and they're gonna go on to win the game 35-28, and they're gonna
Wow.
kill every Niners fan's dream.
Wow.
Right there. I said it. Anna Fry loses in the Super Bowl.
Okay. All right. But yeah, that about wraps up football for today.
Mhm.
I do want to touch on some basketball. I know it's not what we planned, but I do want to touch on some basketball, some moves. I'm gonna only touch on two moves really because they're like the only really significant things that happened during the trade deadline fiasco on Thursday. So the first move is kind of just a why for me. When I look at this move, I don't understand it, and it's the Pacers move with Buddy Hield. I look at it and I don't really understand why they would give up Buddy Hield, who's such an efficient scorer and 3-point shooter for the team. Um, and they did it for Marcus Morris. They did it for Ferdinand Korkmaz, and I believe it was 3 second-round picks. So the Sixers got a really really great scorer, and the Pacers pretty much got back nothing, essentially in return. So I
Well,
just
I mean, it's because the Sixers want to remain like cap space flexible, right? You get off of the money that the people they sent out. You get a good score in Buddy Hield that you can re-sign in the offseason, who is a free agent. And the Sixers will have some cap space at the end of this year to go out and make a move. I've seen they potentially could go for like a DeMar in the offseason, maybe LeBron. I doubt it. But it's really just so the Pacers can get some draft picks attached to it, even though they're just seconds, but picks are picks in the NBA. And just so the Sixers can remain cap space flexible.
okay,
That's
yeah.
my take on that, yeah.
Johnny, you got anything to say about the Sixers trade?
No, not really. I think that he's a solid addition to the team for the Sixers. Uh, once I don't, it's not indefinite that Embiid's out for the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure. So if they can, have a healthy Sixers team plus Buddy Hield, that'll be a solid team.
Well, right now Embiid's out for 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah. So,
So
but yeah.
so the fact that he doesn't even need surgery is kind of shocking to like
Mhm.
most fans. Like he's trying to come back to the team as quickly as possible so that they could make a push in the playoffs. But the Sixers really never make a push in the playoffs. Like they
Yeah.
always get stopped somehow.
They're not good enough.
No, they're not good enough. But we're gonna move on to the biggest deal from our Thursday fiasco. The Knicks, man. Knicks, man. I know we talked about it on the last podcast. Did you know you got your opinions on it? But the Knicks went out and they got two really good um bench guys that are gonna take on bigger roles right now, considering with the injuries that the Knicks have. But they got Bojan Bogdanovic and they got Alec Burks, a former Knick, to come to the squad for I don't want to say his name wrong. Ryan Arak. I don't even know how to say his name, bro. We'll just go Ryan. We'll just go Ryan. Quentin Grimes, Evan Fournier, and Malachi Flynn with 3 second-round picks. It was a really, really great trade for the Knicks. They did it all and they didn't have to give up any first rounders, which was what created all the buzz in general around the league. Um and not only that, bro, I think fans should clap it up for Leon Rose. Leon Rose is that guy. He's
Mm.
that guy, pal.
I'd like to hear Stevens' opinion about this because I know he's a
Yeah.
Knicks fan.
I think, I'm personally shocked by what they're doing right now. Like, when I first saw them trade for OG, I was, a little like, puzzled, like, because Emmanuel quickly I think, has a lot of potential. RJ Barrett's kind of like whatever. He's like, he hasn't shown much promise, but if you look at what they're doing, they're what, fourth in the Eastern Conference, and now they just got Bogdanovich, who's averaging 20 something points a game. Alec Burks seems like a solid role player, and they haven't given up any first round picks.
Nope, no first round
Yeah,
picks,
so
but
that's like it's like really good what they're doing. I still think that they're gonna have like got to if you want to look at it from like a playoff standpoint, I think they can make a solid run in the playoffs if they Jalen Brunson.
also, keep in mind the fact that both Boyan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks are both 40% 3-point shooters. So they're significant offensive threats to come off the bench once everybody's healthy. And who knows, maybe Boyan might even start for the Knicks. He might go in the 2 spot. It's just all dependent on um it's just all dependent on um how the lineup and the rotation goes. So it's gonna be interesting to see where they finish off this year. They definitely could be a
Definitely.
top seed in the Eastern Conference, and they definitely could make a strong push in the playoffs. So I mean that's really it with the Knicks. It's just a great trade, great move with Leon Rose, and it just needed to be talked about. But now we're gonna go to some more regularly scheduled programming with baseball news. Um, Deej, I think you got this one. I think you got this one.
Oh, do I? Okay.
Yep.
So, baseball world, for those that don't know, Bobby Witt Jr., superstar for the Kansas City Royals, 11-year, $288 million extension. Big. That's big money. Big top dollar. Could be 14 years, 377 million if all options are accepted, making it the third biggest contract in MLB history, which would put him right under Otani and Mike Trout. This is kind of crazy, a little insane, but I think it's great for the Royals, great for baseball. Kind of a smaller market team locking up a superstar for the foreseeable future, someone that's going to be with them for the rest of his career. It's great. Bobby Witt's solid. He had a really great year this year. He's going to be a all-star for years to come. He's got all the tools to be one of the top players in the league. He's exciting. The Royals, kind of disappointed last year, but they have something brewing a little bit. They're going to go out. They're going to keep developing their guys, even though their farm system is not really good at all. I think they actually have one of the worst farm systems in the league. So, maybe they don't have that bright of a future. But, Bobby Witt, he's fun. He'll sell some jerseys. He'll sell some chicken buckets. The Royals themselves, they got to put some talent around him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you touched on it all pretty much. Bobby Witt, they got their guy. They got their guy. That's all you could really say with the Royals. They signed him to a massive contract. They have him locked up. Um, and pretty much from here on out, they're going to build their entire future around him. So a lot of the moves and the trades and the signings are going to be built around Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt. So I think it's going to be fun to watch in the future because he is a really talented shortstop. He's a really talented shortstop. So but again, like, it's just going to be interesting to see what he can do, especially now that he just got paid. And now the tides are kind of turned and the eyes are all on him, especially in Kansas City now. So
Mhm.
yeah, Johnny, you wanna talk about some Bobby
Yeah,
Witt?
I mean, the kid's good. I mean, it's like I don't think it's surprising that he's getting paid what he's getting paid. He had a really good year last year. Keep in mind he's like 23 years old, so extremely young, and he's putting up solid numbers, building. But with the going off what Deej said, you got to like really find a way to build around this kid because like if you can do that, they can assemble a good team. But he's gonna bring a lot of people in to see him. He's a star, and I think he deserves it.
Deej, I'm letting you do this one too. I'm letting you do this one too.
Oh, this one's a fun one. So the other day, you know, I like to think that talent in this league is short. Talent in this league is short. And the talent is so short that a 5 years, $125 million contract was signed by Mr. Short himself, Jose Altuve. My thoughts on Altuve are words that I cannot say in front of a microphone. But is it good for the Astros? Sure. Yeah. They locked down their franchise guy, their one-time World Series champion, one-time World Series world champion, legit one-time World Series champion. Um, an asterisk next to the 2017 MVP award. He's had a career. 100%. He's had some type of a career. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yeah. They get him for the rest of his career. It's, in all honesty, good for the Astros. I don't know who else they'd put at second base. I don't really like the guy. Maybe I'm a little biased. Maybe I shouldn't be answering this question. I think more of a neutral guy like Johnny should be answering a
Yeah,
question like this.
Orioles fan.
So yeah, why don't you kind of talk more about Altuve and his extension with the Astros a little bit?
Well, I'm not a fan of him either. As you know, I am a Yankee fan, by the way. But
You
he's
are?
a yeah, he's a very he's their guy. He's like their second baseman. He's been with the team forever. They've won championships with him. I think that if he's going to be on the team probably for the rest of his career. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. But
Well, that's what the extension's for.
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about him. He's whatever to me. But
Yeah, no, he's a franchise guy, and it's going to be exciting to just for Astros fans to have him locked up, and produce like he's been producing for the past couple of years, and really all his entire career. Yeah, I do agree that he is a Hall of Famer, and he deserves this extension. But I don't. Ever since the 2017, I personally, as a Mets fan too, don't even like Jose Altuve. Like I don't like the fact that he cheated. I don't like the fact that the way he went about doing anything he can to win a ring. So, I mean, when it comes to Altuve, it's just not a lot of love there for me. Even being a Mets fan, I wasn't even a part of it, but I can still remember that day when he hit that home run off of Chapman and Chapman smiled. So, I mean, hey man, Altuve got paid. That's all you could really say. Altuve got paid. But we're gonna go into Kershaw returning to LA. I am like at this point I'm just fed up. I'm done with the Dodgers. Like this is ridiculous. You would think, right, with the signings of Yamamoto, trading for Glasnow, getting Paxton. Like you would think that, hey, let's pump the brakes. Let's done Otani. Like let's stop doing this. Let's stop signing. Like we got our team for the future. Nope. Nope. They're not done. They go out and they sign Kershaw to a 1 year deal. I mean, like what is the league gonna do, man? Like I don't understand. I just don't understand this move. And he's not even going to be ready to pitch to start off the season. He's undergoing shoulder surgery. I hate the Dodgers. I feel like that's safe to say. I don't know.
I mean, if they don't look, they've assembled like a gauntlet roster. Like it's actually like, in the fact that they're all of this in addition to what they've already had. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Max Muncy, and now they have Otani, Yamamoto, Tyler Glass now, Teoscar Hernandez. It's like actually ridiculous. So like if the Dodgers like put this team together, go to the playoffs and still can't win, like I don't know what more you want to ask of the like GM, because like that's like every fan's dream of having an off season. Like that's just like crazy. Uh,
Yeah.
but there's no doubt they're it's World Series or bust for them.
Mhm. Well, I feel like there's no doubt Kershaw was going to go back to the Dodgers. I just can't, see him in any other jersey. And I think whether this is his last year or next year's his last year or the year after that, I just think every year of his career is going to be, in a Dodgers uniform. But like you said, it's World Series or bust, and that's what makes baseball such a fun sport. Is really as long as you make the playoffs, you have a chance to win, no matter how good or bad your team is. No one thought the Diamondbacks were going to make it to the World Series. I mean, they just kind of snuck into the playoffs. They were kind of a fun team led by Corbin Carroll. They had some breakout guys last year, but they made their way to the World Series. They put up a fight, and now we see them as contenders for years to come, even though they're in one of the tougher divisions in the league because the Dodgers might honestly just steamroll the NL West for years to come. But, regardless, Kershaw's going to help the Dodgers be competitive. He'll be added to that insane pitching staff of Yamamoto, Bueller, Glasnow, Bobby Miller, even James Paxton you can throw in there. They still have Dustin May. They still have some dogs in the pen as well. It's going to be a fun team.
Otani. Otani too.
Otani, of course, totally forgot about Otani.
Next year.
Um, next year exactly. It's just it's crazy. So Kershaw, Not surprised he went back. Dodgers are going to be competitive and they're going to be a pain in the ass to kind of face for any team in the league.
Yeah, literally, literally. I mean, you get the best player on the planet on your team too. From top to bottom, that roster is ridiculous. Like from outfield to DH to infield to catcher to pitcher to bullpen. Like it's every position, every aspect of that Dodgers team is ridiculous. So if you do not win, if if the Dodgers do not win this year, I think that it's time for Dodgers fans to just hang up the curtain. Just put everything aside and just cry in a corner because it would be ridiculous not to win with this team that you've assembled. You even got like you for some reason you even got like Teoscar Hernandez. Like just because why not? Why not add him to the squad? Why not just sign him? Like it don't
Crazy.
matter.
Mhm.
So yeah, with that stacked roster, he's going to have to. They're going to have to win the World Series for any fan to be happy.
I'll give the Dodgers like 2 more years because they'll probably sign Juan Soto and they'll probably sign Pete Alonso and they'll probably sign Roki Sasaki from Japan and they'll probably just keep stacking their lineup. So I'll give them like a 2 year window. But if they don't win with one within like the next 2 or 3 years, then no, they're done. They're done.
It's time to cry. It's time to
Mhm.
cry in a corner. That's what it
Mhm.
is. It's time to cry. All right, the Brewers. Man, did they fall from grace? Literally fell off a cliff, and now they're just lying in a pit.
Yeah. I think we can expand on fall a little bit. They were in an airplane, or no, they
Mm.
were in a rocket ship from like Jupiter. Windows broke, sucked out into the atmosphere. Comet comes, hits them. They explode into pieces. Each piece goes into its own gravitational pull around Earth's orbit, and every body part lands in a different continent. That's what happened to Brewers fans.
Literally, how low do you have to be to sign Gary Sanchez? How low? How low? Dude, it's like, hey, hey fans, like I know we just traded Corbin Burns, but to compensate, we're gonna bring in Gary Sanchez. What do you guys think about that? And then
Gary.
it's just crickets. It's just crickets in the background. It's literally just crickets. I can't believe that, I mean, obviously it's not a solution to what they just did. Like they just killed the ace of the squad. So they're not going to be competitive. They would have been competitive if they had Corbin Burns and they just added Reese Hoskins. So things were looking a little up until they just trade away Burns. And this is a guy. Burns was a guy like they were like saying we're not moving him. I don't. All the rumors are dead. We're not moving him. There's no talk. And then out of nowhere, the Orioles come in and they snag Burns, and then now they just get Gary Sanchez as a consolation prize. I just that's crazy, you know. But
Stevens?
yeah,
And Gary Sanchez he's been like whatever. He's been like a waiver guy. He's been on the after like his career with the Yankees, like the best. That's the best baseball he's ever played. And he went to the Twins, got picked up by the Padres, and now he's just kind of here. Like he's washed up. He's not the player he was in New York. Uh, and he's I don't understand what the Brewers are doing right now. I don't know if they're just saying we're on full rebuild phase, but if they think that that makes up for that, that's just ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Deej, what I want you to do right now is I want you to look at his contract. What money did the Brewers pay Gary Sanchez?
You know, the funny thing was I know it was bad enough for me to text my dad about it. So I'm opening my chat log with my dad.
I don't remember the exact money. I just looked at it on my phone and I laughed. I just laughed because I was
Uh,
like I was like, "Hey, this is going to be another fun thing to talk about on the pod."
$7 million for Gary Sanchez.
See, now that's crazy.
Hmm.
That's a crazy amount of money for a guy that's been on the waivers for the past like years, couple years.
Hmm.
And he's not good
Yeah.
anymore. He's washed. Like Johnny said, he's washed.
Yeah, I mean, even the thing with the Brewers is they have William Contreras, right? One of the top catchers in the league. If you want to make an argument for top five, maybe you could do that. Catchers are very subjective in the MLB. I just think it's a depth move. There's some potential there. With Gary, he can always kind of pop off whenever. He had a pretty solid year with the Padres, not gonna lie. He had like a stretch where he was insane, but I think it's just very poor timed considering everything that happened with the Brewers, after just trading Corbin Burns. And you just tell the fans, hey, here's Gary Sanchez, rocking the Milwaukee Brewers uniform for the next year. It's just not the best timing. So I kind of feel for Brewers fans a little bit. They'll definitely be rebuilding. You can take them out of contention for the NL Central. I think that division's going to go to the Cardinals or Cubs now.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. But like again, 7 mil, 7 mil,
The market's crazy now. Anyone can make anything.
7 mil for a guy that may not even play is not going to play that much, especially with William Contreras, like you said. 7 mil is kind of a steep price for a guy like that. But hey, can't blame it on Gary. Gary got his money. Gary, that's probably the best contract Gary
That's
would have ever gotten, especially this year. But everybody's favorite point of the podcast. Everybody's favorite point of the podcast. Johnny, I know you have some special feelings about the Mets because they hold a place in your heart, don't they?
Who's everybody?
I was just about to say that too.
Yeah. Now, Johnny, I know that they have a special place in your heart because
No, they don't. But
they're a great franchise, great team. So
Calling Johnny W.
yeah. Um, JD Martinez has been the talk of the town this week for the for the Mets, and they've been in contact with his camp. This means nothing. This means nothing. I'm just sitting here, and I'll wait. I'll wait to hear. But the Mets aren't gonna budge unless JD lowers his asking price and meets a good 1 year deal. Like the Mets aren't gonna go out, which is crazy because you see guys like Justin Turner who just signed for 13, 14 mil. And for me, since I'm a fan of the Mets, I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, if the Blue Jays could pay 13 mil, 13, 14 mil for Justin Turner, why can't the Mets do that same thing? Because Justin Turner would have brought something to the table that would have helped the Mets get through this year. So if the opportunity is available, I do think the Mets should sign JD Martinez just for this year and see how it goes. But yeah, man, they ain't budging. They ain't budging on a high asking price for JD. It's got to come down to a lower asking price.
Mhm. Richest owner in sports, by the way.
Well, they ain't competing. They ain't competing this year. So I mean the moves clearly showed you that. I mean, we didn't even get Yamamoto, and but Stevens, I know you're
I
just
mean,
waiting to talk about this because you have a connection to the Mets.
I I mean, I don't think it means much anyway. There's a lot of stuff that the Mets need if they want to ever think about being competitive again. But it's kind of interesting. They had 2 years ago, they were like everyone was seeing the Mets team, and they're like, wow, this team looks a lot better now. And then they just slowed down, lost, and then just lost the Grom. They lost Scherzer. You still have Alonso there. Lindor's there too, but they're just not. They're not playing good baseball. They played horrible baseball last year, and they're gonna need to be thinking about a lot more stuff than just JD Martinez if they want to be competitive again.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna disagree with you. I mean, yeah, they played horrible baseball last year.
Yeah.
And it was really disappointing because they signed Verlander and they
That too.
added all
Forgot
these
about that.
they added all these pieces to the team, especially Robertson, supposed to be a bridge to Diaz, and they just failed. They just failed. And you can't blame all of it on injuries, but injuries did play a factor into the Mets losing a lot last year. Um, especially them losing out on Verlander 15 days, like 15, he was placed on the 15-day IL like automatically when the season started. And then Diaz jumping up and down in the World Baseball Classic tore his ACL
I
and
mean,
was out
but
for the year.
you can't be surprised that a guy like Verlander of that age like getting hurt all the time. Like he's old. That's what I thought. I was like, why are you signing a guy who's pitching? Pitchers when pitchers get old, it gets bad because they get hurt more. Scherzer's been hurt a lot, and like it's not it shouldn't be surprising to like an owner to have that happen. You have to know the risk signing him. So the fact they had no contingency plan behind that is just it goes to show you like why they didn't do good.
Well, the shocking part about all that is the fact that he didn't even get hurt during the regular season. He got hurt in spring training. It was before the season even started. So I think that's why Mets fans were kind of like, especially me, were kind of like taken back by the whole thing, and like why, how did he get hurt in pitching? Like, because in spring training, typically star pitchers pitch what, 2, 3 innings, not max. Like
They
they don't
don't
go a
pitch.
full game. They don't go a full game of pitching. They're just looking to get some reps and get some practice in before the real season begins. So the fact that he got hurt before the regular season even started was kind of like, okay, like what's going on here? But the Mets, you can't count them out because they have a very prominent future with all their farm system is one of the best in the league, and there's no denying that. I don't make a face, dude, because I'm telling you, their farm system is one of the best in the league, and
Mhm.
you could debate me on that, and I will win every single time,
Sure.
every single time.
Hmm.
No, you could go ahead. You want to debate me on it? Because it seems like you got something to say. Because
No, we'll save it for another time. It's
mm,
not worth my breath right now.
it's the truth. But anyways, so with them having one of the best farm systems in the league, they're going to go out next year, or maybe not even next year, maybe 2026. Might take 2 years for them to actually go out and make a splash in the free agent market and actually make significant signings. So it's gonna be a long process for the Mets, but just gonna sit here and wait along for the ride because that's what fans do.
Hmm.
But yeah, now we're gonna head into Yankees baseball.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about baseball that actually matters now for a little bit.
Okay, all right.
The Yankees, the other day, they lost one of their better relievers, Wandy Peralta. They traded Mike King not too long ago. They lost out on Kenyon Middleton. The bullpen took a pretty big hit, losing those three guys. So, how are they going to bounce back? They trade for Caleb Ferguson. Very solid arm. Very solid arm from the Dodgers. Now the Yankees bullpen, honestly, rounded out very solid. They have, as of right now, the projected bullpen for the Yankees looking like Clay Holmes, Ian Hamilton, Jonathan Loizaga, Tommy Kahnle, Caleb Ferguson, Scott Efros, Victor Gonzalez, and Luke Weaver. That's the projected bullpen. And we're not even taking into account some of the other guys that they can use in the bullpen. Ron Marinaccio, Luis Gil, Clayton Beater, Chase Hampton, Will Warren, Clark Schmidt. Maybe they might move him down to the bullpen if they get another starter or they want to promote one of their young starters, and put them in the rotation. This, all bias aside, is the best bullpen in the MLB, hands down. I don't see another team beating this bullpen. I don't. Do they have the most star power in this bullpen? No. You know, Astros just went out. They signed Josh Hader. They're pairing him up now with Ryan Presley. That's a nice 1-2 punch. But what's the rest of their bullpen looking like? They don't have Hector Neris anymore. Ryan Stanek probably not going to go back. That's just an example of a team. I know like people say the Mariners might have a really good bullpen. That's true. But from top to bottom, I really think the Yankees have the best bullpen in baseball. And unless you guys can bring up another team to maybe rival that, I just don't see another team being the Yankees bullpen.
Well, I will say the Yankees have always done a really good job of having a solid bullpen in
That's
the
right.
last couple of years. They have now maintaining it has been kind of the issue. I think that if they can maintain those people and keep them healthy, that could very well be the case. But I think what they need to do is really like focus. Like Clay Holmes needs to, if Clay Holmes can get back to the Clay Holmes he was a year and a half ago, was it? I think the bullpen has like nothing standing in their way. And yeah, it's just a matter of keeping them healthy is the concern.
Well, the thing about Clay Holmes is, I mean, he was kind of rocky a little bit. He has his moments. Every closer has their moments, right? I mean, he would be the closer on like at least 15 other
Yeah.
MLB teams. He
Hmm.
would be other teams' best relievers. Other than Edwin Diaz, he'd be the Mets' best reliever. Let's be realistic here. I said other than Edwin Diaz. Okay, I
I
said
didn't
that.
say anything. I didn't
You
say
made a
anything
face. You made
because
a face, you little
it's just
rascal. You made a
it's just
face.
interesting how you could. I'm just sitting back and listening to all this. It's just interesting how you can mention that the Yankees have the best bullpen in the
They
league, but
do.
you can't mention that you can't like suck it up and say, hey, the Mets have one of the best farm systems in the
Well,
league.
they don't, and we'll save that for another
Just saying,
time.
just
We'll save that for another time. Oh,
just
because they
saying,
traded for Ronald Acuna's little brother. Oh,
just
wow,
saying,
cool.
I'm just
Wow,
saying,
that's some swag
I'm
to
just
have
saying.
in your farm system. Cool.
I'm
Okay.
just saying, but that's one guy in our farm system. That's one guy. We also have Vlad's brother.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, look
So,
at you. You did the
but
same. You literally just did what I said.
I'm just
The
saying we also
the
have
little
him too.
brother of a famous
No, no, no,
MLB
no.
player. You
It's
just
not.
like we have a good
You
farm
can't.
system
But I'm
because we
saying
have nepotism.
no, 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 no. It's not just those two. Those two are very prominent people that we have in there. But I'm
Mhm.
saying we have one of the best farm systems in the league. We got Jet Williams. We got Ronnie Mauricio who's hurt right now. We got Ryan Clifford. We got Mike Vassell.
Literally, no one
We
knows who those people are.
dude, Drew Gilbert. We have one of the best farm systems in all of baseball. Like you can't argue. I believe at least I think four of them at least made the MLB top 100. Like
I think the Yankees have like six, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't name them.
I
They
don't
have
know off the
six.
top of
Name
my
them.
head. I think it's like Dominguez,
Spencer
Dominguez
Jones.
don't
Spencer
count.
Jones. Yes, he's technically still
Dominguez
a
don't count.
prospect. He's a
Dominguez
prospect
don't count.
technically. He's technically a prospect.
Just if Mauricio doesn't count, Dominguez
I
don't
never
count
said
either.
Mauricio didn't count.
No, I'm saying I don't really even count Mauricio, but I'm saying Dominguez don't count.
See, this just proves like
I mean,
rent free.
he played in
This
the
is just
MLB
rent
last year.
free.
He
This is just
played in the
rent
MLB
free.
last
Who are
year.
we talking about, Mauricio or Jason Dominguez?
Dominguez.
Yeah,
They
like
both
three
did.
games. For
But
3 games.
okay, well he's not technically a prospect.
Dude, you know that's not how that works, right?
He's a rookie. He's going to be a rookie.
Judge played in the MLB in 2016, but his rookie year was 2017. So technically at that point, Judge was still a prospect.
He's not a prospect. He's a rookie. He's a rookie. He's not a prospect.
Can I move on with the segment, please?
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because
Go ahead.
you
Go
and
ahead.
little
Oh,
brother
go ahead. Go
syndrome
ahead. No, 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 no. It's
like to
not little
chime in
brother
every now and
syndrome.
then.
It's not little brother
Like to
syndrome.
chime in every. I
It,
literally wasn't even insulting the Mets. I said other than Edwin Diaz, Clay Holmes would be the best reliever on
no,
the
but I'm just
Mets.
saying.
And
I'm
little
just
brother
saying
syndrome just kicked
no,
in.
because you said the Yankees had one of the best bullpens in the league. So why can't
Yeah.
you admit that the Mets have one of the best farm systems in the league?
First off, those are two totally different subjects, and the Mets don't have one of the best farm systems in the league. Respectfully.
That's crazy that you say that because
Respectfully.
you're not looking. You're not looking.
I mean, I feel like you should also look at other successful pros like farm systems.
All
Yeah,
right.
why don't we
What
compare
other
some other farm
what
systems?
other
And
Dodgers.
I think another important thing is also developing those said prospects is also like
Exactly.
an important factor.
Who have the Mets developed? Tell me.
Well, Beatty and all them were flops.
Yeah,
But
tell me how
no, no,
Beatty's
no, no.
doing.
Okay,
Tell me
so
how
listen,
Beatty's doing right now.
listen, listen,
No,
listen,
I want you to tell me how Beatty's
listen.
doing
I'm
right
gonna
now.
tell you how Beatty's doing right now
Please tell
because
me.
Beatty, this is gonna be Beatty's literal last year to like literally step it up. Like you have to, he's going to have to prove himself this year. But it's not just that. You see guys that panning out. Oh, I didn't even mention this guy. Kevin Parada's in our farm system too.
Literally who? Literally who?
One of the best prospects in baseball. You know,
That
and also
we're just
if
throwing
you're
around the
talking
word
about
best like it's
no, no, no,
nothing.
no, no, it's not. We're not throwing it around. It's the truth. The Mets have one of the best farm systems in all of baseball. I'll die on that hill. That's the truth. There's no backing off on this one. The Mets have one of the best farm systems in the league, and I'm gonna die on that hill. I'm gonna
Mhm.
die on that hill.
Okay.
And you talk about guys that pan out, bro. Francisco Alvarez is literally gonna be a stud this year. He showed us just a taste of his power last year. So this year he's going to be very much so more locked in and put up a lot better numbers than he did last year in his rookie season. Because
hmm
that's another guy who who played the year before, right? He played in 2022, but he didn't play too many games
Literally, who are you even
rookie
talking
season.
about?
I'm talking about Francisco Alvarez, bro.
Oh, okay. See, the people are just so irrelevant that I forget who you're
See, like
talking
this is
about.
what I mean, bro. Like you underestimate the Mets, and you downgrade the fact that we have a great farm system, one of the best in the league, and you just can't admit it. You can't admit it. Why would we trade Verlander and Scherzer to not get one of the best farm systems in the league? Explain that. Explain that.
Because I don't understand what you're trying to say. You kind of had to, right?
We did it to get one of the best farm systems in the league.
No, you traded them because you guys sucked and you needed to get something out of them.
Well, that too, but like we needed to get a top offer for him, and we did. We got Drew
Yeah,
Gilbert,
and
we got
I
Ryan
need to
Clifford,
marry Jenna
and
Ortega,
we
but
got
sometimes
Ronald.
things don't happen like that. Okay?
See, like here we go, here we
You
go.
can't just like say, "Oh,
It's
we need to have the top."
no,
Yeah,
it's round and round with you, and like you can't admit facts.
usually one of the best. We can't throw around the word best
It's not. We're not throwing it around. It's just
you
there.
lit-
It's there. It's there because it is true. I wouldn't throw it around if it wasn't true.
I didn't say they didn't have a good farm system, but you throw around the word best is
One of the
crazy.
best. One of the best.
Best is
Literally.
crazy. Best is crazy.
One of the best. Do you not see the do you not hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? One of the
That's what
best.
I'm saying. Best is crazy to use
Why is that crazy?
because they don't.
Why is that crazy to use?
Because they don't. Johnny
All
made a
right,
good point actually.
name better. Name better.
Oh my
Name
God.
better.
Johnny actually made a great point that farm systems also have to include developing their people. Who have the Mets developed?
I mean, no one yet because
Exactly.
I
a
Exactly.
lot of the
think
play.
like you look at can I
Exactly.
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
if you want to look at teams that have done that, like have done a great job, like I think the Orioles have the best farm system in the league.
Oh, hands down.
They developed Gunnar Henderson, uh Adley Rutschman, and are now adding Jackson Holiday, who is just playing out of his mind in the minors, and who I think, by the way, is going to be a star when he gets there. If you have guys like that, those are people that shows like that you can have some teams can have like all the players that you want, but it's no good if they can't like develop them because like the big leagues and where they are now is like a big step for them. If you can't like help them transition, it's like just not it's not going to work.
Well,
Mhm.
it's also not technically fair to compare it to the Orioles too, because like they a lot of their guys, three guys, Mark Vientos, Brett Beatty, and Francisco Alvarez have made it to the big leagues and have played. Look,
They
I'm not
didn't.
saying they panned out. I'm not saying they planned out. I'm saying a lot of the guys that I'm talking about too, like depth wise and farm system wise, haven't even touched. So they haven't been developed because they haven't played. You're not gonna know how they panned out because they haven't played an MLB season yet. They haven't played in the MLB. So how are you gonna do that? Compare it to the Orioles when they haven't touched the field for the MLB yet.
Like
We should
who?
just, bro. What do you mean like who?
Guys that haven't touched the field yet. Who are you talking about?
Jet Williams, Kevin Parada, Luis Angel Acuna, Vladimir
All right, but
Miguel,
that's not a okay. First of all, the brother thing that's like not a guarantee they're going to be like them or
Literally.
Miguel Guerrero Jr.
that.
Yeah, that's right. A government named him. Um, I'm trying to think. Drew Gilbert, if I didn't say him already. Ryan Clifford, like Mike Vassell, like all these seven guys have not touched the MLB, have not been in the MLB yet. So you can't tell me, oh, the Mets don't like.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that you can't just like. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you want to talk about the best farm teams, you have to look at teams that have credibility of that have had guys and made sure they were good. That's my point.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to wait and see if they do pan out
Okay,
because
we can.
it's gonna take time because they're not coming up. I think at max, Jet Williams will come up this year, but I don't know. Maybe they add a few extra guys like Acuna and stuff to the roster, but it's gonna take time. We should just move on from this because we can go on for hours.
You ruined my segment. Thank you.
How did I ruin your segment? How did I
Because
ruin
we
your
were
segment?
supposed to talk about the Yankees bullpen. and little
Oh,
brother
go
syndrome
ahead, go
kicked
ahead.
in.
No, because
No,
because
no,
it's
let's move on.
annoying.
Let's move on.
Because it's annoying.
No, let's move on. Move
All
on.
right, all right.
Actually, no,
Well,
I want to do
It's a
this
good
because
topic.
I want to do this because you ruined the last one.
all right, all right, all right. Go ahead.
Yankee legend Corey Kluber has just announced retirement. Career 3.44 ERA, 100 and no, that's wrong. 1,725 career strikeouts, career 34 WAR, three-time All-Star, two-time AL Cy Young Award winner, two-time AL wins leader, the AL ERA leader in 2017, and he threw a no-hitter with the Yankees. One career no-hitter to my knowledge. I just want to say
Mm.
Corey Kluber, one of the at his peak, one of the best pitchers we've seen in our generation. Um, However, the peak was very short. It was a very short peak. It's not like a guy like Kershaw or like maybe like a now like a DeGrom or something or Garrett Cole. If you even consider DeGrom's peak long, I mean, I know he's always hurt, but still one of the better pitchers we've ever seen in our generation. His peak for Kluber very short. Um, so it really kind of begs the question, even though he had a really great peak, the longevity's not there. Is Corey Kluber a Hall of Famer? I don't think so, but I know some people are going to make an argument for it. And now the Hall of Fame is very questionable when it comes to baseball. And like I said, the peak is phenomenal, but outside of that peak, there's not really much there, like at all. So I don't think Corey Kluber is going to be a Hall of Famer. Will he be on the ballot for a little bit? Maybe. Some people think he'll be off after the first ballot. I don't know about that. I think maybe he'll get some votes just being a two-time Cy Young winner alone. But, think about like Blake Snell, right? If Blake Snell were to retire right now, would you think he's a Hall of Famer? No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, he's a two-time Cy Young Award winner, but that doesn't mean he's going to be a Hall of Famer, right? Because Snell, like Kluber, had like these really good peak years,
Mm.
but then outside of those years, there's not really much there.
Yeah.
So I don't think Kluber's a Hall of Famer in my opinion, but he had a great career. Wish he maybe could have done more outside of those peak years, but it is what it is. And I like to thank him personally for getting the Yankees Juan Soto. He taught Michael King his slider, and ever since Michael King used that slider, he became one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. And that pitch alone got him traded to the San Diego Padres for Juan Soto. So thank you, Corey Kluber. You will always have a place in my heart. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna mention the fact that he threw a no hitter for the Yankees too.
I did say that if you're
You
actually
did?
listening to
Okay.
me, yeah.
I'm not
See,
bad.
see, little brother
Yo,
syndrome just kicks
back
in.
off. Back off. It's
Little
not
brother syndrome.
it's not back off. Okay? Back off. I'm just saying, back off. Anyways, Corey Kluber. I feel like I don't know. I guess you're right in what you said about how, two Cy Youngs is not may not get him into the Hall of Fame. It's a really toss up. I think it's a toss up. Um, some people are gonna vote for him, some people aren't, and it's just gonna be how it is. But I don't know. I don't know if he's done enough in his career to deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. It's gonna, I guess we're gonna just see over time. But like, I don't know if he's done enough in his career.
I agree. I don't think it's enough. Good peak, like I said, but outside of the peak, not much is there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, let's just go into the wrap up segment because
Mhm.
Johnny, I don't know if you have anything else to add with the Corey
No, I'm
Kluber thing.
good.
Um, pitchers and catchers reported, and that doesn't mean that you know I don't even know where I'm going with this. Snell, I don't even know where I'm going with this. Snell and Monty, um, and Matt Chapman, all headline big names still haven't signed, and pitchers and catchers have reported. That's what I meant to say. You know, Snell, Monty, Chapman. What's going on with them? What like Boris is literally the gatekeeper. He's the gatekeeper, and we know we touched about this last pod, but it's gonna be I don't know. I don't even know what to say anymore because you want to see them signed, but I don't know what's gonna happen with them. So I guess we're gonna go straight into where will they go? Stevens, we're gonna start off with Blake Snell. Where do you think Blake Snell will end
You
up?
know, it seems like Seattle has a really good chance of getting him. I think the Yankees like they should not be counted out yet. They were close. I think that he just wanted like another year, and they said no. So I think that there's like some stuff to be said about that, and that they still have a chance to get him. Uh, but yeah, it's really like other than that, I don't really know. Like there hasn't been much talk about it, like about like where else he's going that I've seen at least. But
Hmm.
Monty, I think Monty's gonna resign with the Rangers. Like I think that he played good there. I don't think he's gonna. I really like. I don't think he's gonna want to come back to New York. Maybe he does, but being on that Rangers team, just winning a World Series with them is kind of like why would you not want to stay?
Hmm.
But that's what I think good for those two guys.
What about Matt Chapman? Where do you think he'll end up?
And I haven't given that much thought at all. I know that he's definitely not signing back with Toronto. Uh, that's especially after just getting JT.
Yeah, no, that's kind of dumb.
So yeah, I
San
don't know.
Francisco?
San
I
Francisco?
mean, yeah, that would. I mean, yeah, they're not great. That would just be like kind of
I wouldn't
whatever.
count that out. I wouldn't count that out.
But yeah, I don't. I honestly don't know where I could see him going. To be honest, like I think like I just don't.
All right. Well, Deej,
Hmm.
we're gonna go around the table. Where do you
Oh,
think? Yeah,
my turn?
yeah, yeah. Where
Okay.
do you think they're going?
I don't want you to get triggered at this, but
Okay.
I think Blake Snell's gonna be a Yankee at the end of the day. Okay. I know we had a little bit of a heated argument, and I know
A little
jealousy
bit.
is
A
jealousy is
little
a
bit.
little bit of a devious sin. I know, but Blake Snell is gonna probably end up in pinstripes, Yankee pinstripes, for those that don't know. Um, Montgomery is gonna be a Ranger at the end of the day. He's gonna be a Ranger. Um, Matt Chapman gonna be a Giant. Who's the other guy? I think I'm missing someone, right? Cody Bellinger, the other Scott Boras client. He's gonna
Oh,
be a Cub.
I
He's gonna be a Cub. It's simple as
yeah,
that.
I agree with that. I think that he's comfortable there, and I don't think he was comfortable as a Dodger. I think he just wasn't. Like if you look at his numbers, that he wasn't good there. He was un. I don't know if he was unhappy, but I think the pressure got to him.
Wait,
And now,
did didn't Cody Bellinger win an MVP with the Dodgers?
yeah.
well, I
I
yes, but
mentioned
I'm
that.
saying after the fact that he did that, and when he got into his slump, that injury messed him up, and then he never was the same. Went to the Cubs, and then he his numbers are looking good again.
Hmm.
Yeah, he had a down year with the Dodgers, and then he went to the Cubs and did really well. But I'll go with my predictions now. A lot of them are the same. Cody Bellinger, I do believe, is going to be a Cub. I do believe Monty's going to sign back with the Rangers, and San Francisco could be a good target for Chapman. But Snell, I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Orioles. I think I think personally that they're gonna go out because they need to differentiate. I don't even know if I said that right. They need to they need to add a lefty to the rotation because their rotation's primarily right-handed pitchers.
Hmm.
So I think that they're gonna add Blake Snell to the top of their rotation along with Corbin Burns.
I think you're
Me,
wrong.
me personally.
I
Why
think we
wouldn't I?
talked about that
I think we
in the
did talk
last
about that.
pod.
I
I
think
don't
we
remember
did
what
talk
you
about that.
said. I don't remember you might have said the
I don't
same thing. I
remember what I
don't
said
know.
either. No,
I don't
I
know.
think I think I said does it beg the question for them to go out and sign Blake Snell now?
Look, I think now that they have Corbin Burns with new owners, especially, they're more likely to splurge and spend. But I think that they might be, you know, maybe saving that big contract for an extension for Corbin Burns. I don't know. Whatever team signs Snell, it's a little bit of a risk. He's already 31. He has can not command or really control issues, but he has walk issues, right? Like he led the league in walks, if I'm
Mm.
not mistaken, but still won Cy Young, which is honestly crazy. Just kind of goes to show you how dominant of a year he had last year. I don't think the Orioles are gonna get Snell. I think, the Yankees could make like I don't think they're gonna be aggressive, the Yankees. I think if he goes to the Yankees, it's gonna be more like he kind of falls into their lap type of thing. But I do could see like San Francisco or Seattle trying to make a push for him, before spring training actually starts. So I'll revise my answer a little bit because that's what I think. The Yankees will get him if he falls into their lap. They're not going to be aggressive for him, but San Francisco and Seattle might be aggressive for him as
Now,
spring training comes closer.
this is technically a question for the both of you. Do you think maybe if the time comes he'll accept a short-term deal?
I
Like with
think so.
especially with the Yankees. Like if would the
Yeah,
Yankees offer him a short-term deal and
but he
he'll
doesn't want a
accept it?
short-term deal.
Well,
I
obviously
don't.
not, but it's getting close to opening day. It's like
Yeah,
30 days away.
I don't blame him though. He just won Cy Young. I would want a long term deal too. I mean, think about like for example, this might be a bad example, but like Trevor Bauer, he won Cy Young and he got like a 3 year
Oh
deal.
man, that man, dude.
I
Oh
mean,
man.
it could be something like that where it's like a 3 year deal, but the average like annual
I
thing is
mean,
like high.
if everyone's offering him a short-term deal, sure. But I think like if the Yankees give him a short-term deal and say like Seattle gives him a longer deal, he's probably going to go to Seattle. He's probably going to go to whatever team offers him the
He
longer.
he's from Washington, so
Hmm.
Yeah. So
But it's funny you mentioned Bauer too. Like that the whole situation is I want to see him pitch in the MLB again. I don't see a reason why not to. I mean, he got cleared of all
and
his
he wants
charges.
to too.
Yeah, he
I
got
don't, I
cleared.
don't I don't think he'll ever do it again though. I don't
I
think
don't think
teams
he
are gonna
will,
give him
but
a
it's
chance.
and that's sad though too because he got cleared of all his charges and literally he's been on social media like actively saying like you could sign me for league minimum and I will pitch and if something doesn't go wrong if something goes wrong with me and the team like just release me get rid of me like I don't really care but I want to pitch in the MLB and I think a team should give him the shot.
Well, I
I don't
think a lot of teams aren't really concerned about his like those allegations. I really think it's a matter of he's been so long out of the big leagues that's like, are you still the same guy you were?
well right now he's
And
just blackballed. He's just blackballed.
mhm.
I think it's reputation. I think whatever team signs him now
Yeah,
has
and
to
that
kind of
too.
deal with like, oh,
His
they just
baggage, yeah.
signed a guy who went through all this. He had a pretty honestly great year in Japan though. So I think he has it in him to still be a good pitcher if he to return to the MLB, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. I think a lot of
Yeah.
teams care too much about the media and their image.
Yeah. Well, with that being said, that about concludes episode 8 of Do You Know Ball. We're gonna catch you guys next week with episode 9. But yeah, we'll see you guys like next week. Thank you, Johnny, for coming on.
Anytime. This was fun. I like this. Good.
All right, we're gonna catch you guys next week for episode 9.